Welcome to the Invention Show. I'm your host, Brian Freed, and today our guest is Dr. Alevtina Malikova. She is the co-founder of BrushRefresher. Welcome to our show, Alevtina.
I appreciate, Brian, you having me here. It's an honor to share my story with everyone.
That's great. Alevtina, tell me about who you are and where you're from. And also, I mentioned that you were the co-founder. So tell us who the other co-founder or co-founders are.
My pleasure. My name is Alevtina Malkova. I'm a general dentist. I graduated NYU Dental in 2010, and I'm married to Boris Fuzilov. He's a pharmacist, and he has been my spouse since 2010 as well. The beautiful thing is that we are both from the Boharian Jewish descent. Basically, around 1992, from the former Soviet Union, our families immigrated to New York to escape the persecution. So we do call ourselves New Yorkers, but at the same time, we have moved to Florida just a year ago to kind of explore the different types of quality of life here.
Very nice. So, Alevtina, you had this problem, and you mentioned that you're a dentist. Is that you're a dentist,
Yes.
and you had this problem, or you realized that people that are coming to your office and you're treating them, they might have this problem, but just being in the industry kind of brings you that aha moment of, you know what, there's things that we use within the dental hygiene area, but you came up with something interesting. So first, why don't you tell us what the problem was?
Sure, definitely. I've actually been in the dental scope even prior to entering dental school because my dad is a dentist. A lot of family members are as well. So I've always been in their offices, and I've interacted with different patients constantly. And the main thing that pops up when we mention the word hygiene is a patient saying, "Oh, how long do I need to change my toothbrush? And does it really matter if I change it or not? I don't want to just, it's a hassle going back and forth to buy something." And kind of funny that when I mentioned this to my husband, he actually said in his pharmacies, the patients would also come up and say, which brand is the best? Like, which one can last the longest? There's just so many toothbrush brands. I don't know which one I should choose, that I don't have to just keep coming back to get new ones. So that was in our minds something that we said, let's think outside the box and create something that can be helpful for the world.
Okay, well, that was the problem. And just for the
Mhm.
record, being a dentist, these teeth won class of 1991 best smile.
Oh, look at that. I can see that. I can
I'm
approve that
trying to
for
keep
sure.
it. I'm very serious about my teeth, so
No, no,
no,
no.
it's interesting.
Shiny and bright.
So you felt like there was a need for people replacing their toothbrushes, and look, we all run out of our toothbrush at some point. The bristles start to kind of
Right.
get time to renew, and then you're
Definitely worn
looking
out.
around and you're like, do I have a toothbrush? Do I have a replacement toothbrush? And sometimes it takes another week or 2 weeks till you end up getting to the store, or maybe you just buy it on Amazon. But
Right.
you came up with an interesting solution to it. So why don't you tell us what you and your husband created?
Sure. I appreciate that. So we trademarked the idea, the name Brush Refresher, because the concept is that you would refresh the bristle head or the brush head that you've been using with a new one. Now, the question is, the new one, where is it? It's actually going to be stored within the handle of the toothbrush. So you can actually get a whole year's, like a whole 1 year's worth of toothbrush ability within that one handle, because you would have three bristle heads that are ready to go and the current one that you're using, so you can change them quarterly. And then that's the invention. We feel that it's so simple yet interesting yet important to have, because you have basically the concept of at your fingertips, and it's ready to use whenever you need it.
Great. Do you have something that you could show us of what it looks like?
So there is a website that we had created with a 2 minute and 1 minute DRTV commercial. The prototype and the photo shoot pictures are all on that website. However, at this current moment, there was because of the move and a little bit behind the scenes, since this was since around 2010 and 2011, I have physically no prototype at this point, but it is presentable on the website to be seen.
Okay. So, Alevtina, you have your website to show us your invention. Why don't you explain to us what you have on your website?
Sure, my pleasure. So there is the logo, which I think is kind of catchy. My husband created it with the R being as a refresh arrow, brush refresher. But that is the prototype that you see there. It would be basically the stack of bristle heads, and that insert will go inside the toothbrush handle. And then if you can scroll down a little bit, you can see how through the CAD design, how they indicated how the placement would be. So it's a very it seems slightly in terms of design, any method, any color can be chosen, any technique that a person would want, maybe through the back end to open the door or from the front end, depending on the patent utility that is used. And if you scroll up, we can quickly just go through the video. I can explain what kind of other features the toothbrush can have. This was recorded in also in our dental office. It was my father and myself there as well. It was a fun experience for us. But basically, the concept is that there's different features that can be offered. One of them is the concept of a two-minute timer. You know, patients just don't know when. Oh, okay, is it time for me to finish brushing? And there's a timer included. Also, there's going to be two indicator lights. The first indicator light will explain to you, oh, the 3 bristle heads are finished. Go, please buy the insert before your current one is expired. And the second indicator light will tell you when the 3 months is ready. Because based on American Dental Association, it is important to change the bristle head every 3 months. So you would have both indicator lights there, as well as that 2-minute timer. So that gives that commercial overview. It was a fun experience for us. So that's why I proud, with my husband on our creation.
That's great. Excellent. Congratulations on that.
Thank
So,
you.
you came up with a toothbrush that has a sleeve of disposable bristles that when you need to replace your toothbrush bristles, all you have to do is just slide the tray out of the handle,
Mm-hmm.
take the toothbrush bristle, and just snap it back in and throw the other one away.
Just like that. It's simple and easy. Correct. I feel it's a little bit. It's important to know that you have access to something where you don't have to store it in a cabinet or maybe misplace it and say, "Oh, where did it go?" You kind of have a constant at your fingertips, how they say. And at this day and age, to add another to-do list of, oh, I have to go to the store and buy something. It's buy the toothbrush that my bristles are frayed or ineffective or worn out. And kind of it's also a presentability aspect. Yes, I know nobody really other than family goes into the bathroom, but you never know if you have a guest or over or anything like this. You wouldn't want to show hygienically behind the scenes a toothbrush that's very worn out and old. So you want to have one that's constantly readily available for yourself.
Understood. Now, this 2-minute timer, you have that also included on it, but what's the theory behind 2 minutes of brushing your teeth?
Sure. So most patients say, "What's the difference time and how do I even tell?" What happens with the 2-minute concept is that it will train yourself to angle the toothbrush in each area as needed for certain periods of time versus just going in and all right, I'm done, finished. I always say in a cute way, I'm like, oh, just put a 2-minute commercial on YouTube, and brush while you can. But here, if you have a timer, it's slightly and it's fun for the kids too. They kind of count down with it. But yeah, so there's different angles that you have to put in different areas of the teeth, and each has its own 30 seconds. So it just adds up.
And the reason why we have to change our toothbrush bristle, obviously you showed us in the video that
Mhm.
it kind of gets worn out, but the effectiveness of a toothbrush bristle and the reason why you feel strongly about changing it, what really happens when you're not using an effective toothbrush?
Sure. Based on American Dental Association guidelines and every basically dentist that you ask, the concept is that when it's frayed out or when it's bent or worn out, it doesn't effectively reach the lining between the tooth and the gum line. So that's the intention, to clean out the plaque from between the gum line and the tooth. So if you have the bristles frayed and not directed, it's as if you're just smoothing over it, but nothing is being removed. If you get a new toothbrush, some patients ask for a hard, is it better hard, medium, or soft? We usually say soft or medium, for the fact that if you use a hard one, it kind of wears away the gum line as well, faster than it's supposed to be. So there's just different aspects of everything. But
You know what
this
this reminds me of? You know
tell
what
me.
this reminds me of, Aleftina? It reminds me of the way that we change our disposable razors, our razor heads.
That is
But
very true.
you've actually done it for toothbrushes. And I know that there's some that pop off the heads with the electric toothbrushes and things, but this is actually something that is stored within the toothbrush head, and all you have to do is, you don't need the whole top head to replace. It's
Correct.
just
You
the
don't.
bristle piece. That just is the piece that snaps in and out.
100%. And I do agree. There are different brands that, have the whole handle putting in with a head on top of it instead of just a bristle piece. Each has each um, concept out there is helpful for others. But I feel the concept of the brush refresher is double helpful because it goes through all ages.
So here you are, you're a dentist, and now all of a sudden you're a dentist and an inventor. So tell us about the experience of going through. You had this aha moment, you had this idea to make disposable toothbrush bristles. So what did you do first when you came up with the idea?
Yes, so definitely the first place, I mean, it was google.com. I was to figure out what's the next step. Oh, we have an invention, we have a concept, what to do. So the first concept of tackling was patent. So we hired a lawyer, and he led us through the steps of having to do research. Of course, everything is financial, so we did have to have a lot of financial backup from ourselves, from my family, to in this whole process, in this whole journey. So after the patents were created, now why were there two? Is because when you have different ideas of how it can be handled, the lawyer explained that it's important to decipher each one, but in a separate concept. So that's why we created two patents. After
Okay.
that, um, then comes the idea of prototype. So we did find someone to help us with creating that as well.
Okay. So when you were working on the patent, you said that it needed to be split up into two.
Mhm.
So for example, for yours, you have the toothbrush head that is storing the bristle heads. Is that one patent or is that two patents?
So one of them is the fact that there was a slider. I mean, let's call it a tray. So we have the tray with the three bristle heads, and they can snap off and snap on. And the other utility patent is the same tray but with a slider behind it. So what you would do is, instead of removing the bristle head, you can just push it up, and therefore there's an opening of the door of the toothbrush handle from the top, right near where you put it in the mouth, and then it just slides up, and you with your thumb push off your current one, or flick it off, and then just push up the other one.
Okay.
So
So that
different.
was an experience going through the patents, and now you have two issued patents on this
Yeah,
invention.
it
And
did take
then
it took 2 years for each. It does take time. Yeah.
okay. And then you said we have to bring this to life somehow. So you
Yes.
ended up making a prototype. So tell us about that experience.
um, it was all new. It's all like, oh my gosh, is this going the way we need it to go? Is this different companies ask for different amounts, promise different things. So we didn't know if we were going. There is no right or wrong, honestly. It's just an experience. So what we got out of it was the fact of having a prototype, and then the same company said, now how are you going to promote it? Let's make a commercial with it. So that's when the DRTV commercial concept came into play. And our acting skills, we had to brush up on that. But it was a fun experience. It's basically to show what the idea can do, but to the masses, to explain it through video.
So this has been fun for you, but it's also been challenging. And you ended up going through, you have your patent, you have your prototype, you ended up making a commercial. And here you are now. You want to promote your invention, you want to get it out there. So
Mhm.
you had the commercial done. How do people know about this invention?
So at that point, we have sell sheets, marketing material, research, everything we have. However, at that point where it was to the concept of inventory or purchasing or finding a manufacturer, that's where Boris and I, my husband, we kind of stopped it because of the additional finances that we had to give in. And also we had our own careers going and family life. So my dentistry, and I opened a few offices with my father and family, and he had his own pharmacy. So we were kind of focusing on other business ventures. And then thank God we have 3 girls, so it's a beautiful experience through family endeavors and career. So we kind of put this on hold. We said to ourselves, we don't want to go through the route of manufacturing and marketing, and that whole business behind the scenes is its own science. So we said instead we would want a licensing deal. That
Okay.
would be our intention.
And this idea came at a certain point in your life. And the good thing is you have 20 years to commercialize it, or actually, you have 20 years protected with your patents. So you had to take a little bit of a break. You had life activities going on, and you decided, instead of manufacturing it, starting your own business with bringing it to market and buying them, manufacturing them, selling them, that you would consider licensing. So licensing, you're looking for a company that's in
Yeah.
the manufacturing space of toothbrushes or disposables, and you're looking for them to manufacture it, them to distribute it, and to you and your husband to earn a royalty from it.
100%. I feel that way. Companies that are already in the dental product space or home care or self care, it would be just an additional exposure for themselves on something new. Especially, I feel with a dentist background, it's a good headline. Dentist creates a dental invention. So I feel that it's definitely the route to go at this point, and it would
When we
be
were
a
talking
pleasure
about
to.
Yeah, when we were talking about disposables, look at Harry's,
Yeah.
right? Harry's just came into the market and said, "We have a new disposable razor." Is that what you feel like you envision for your toothbrushes?
Yeah, so when you 100%, when you watch the show Shark Tank, a lot of my colleagues and friends were even telling me, go on it. But I feel at that point I didn't have anything to, no sales, no actual inventory. So I hesitated to even apply. But that concept of Harry's and just exploding, I feel that is something we definitely want to have in our life.
Okay. So, Aleftina, you and your husband came up with this toothbrush that has a handle that stores a sleeve of disposable bristles.
Hmm.
And as soon as you're done with your toothbrush, it's a month or so after, you're going to just snap that off, put a bristle in there, and then you can put the remaining ones in there. What happens when we run out of those bristles?
Sure. We would just basically have a tray that can be sold separately, and you can always have a constant um, insertion ready. Or it could be a subscription kind of factor where constantly the 3 sets would keep coming to your home. You can do it as often as you need. Dentist recommended 3 months each bristle head. You could do 1 month, 2 months, whatever the patient pleases.
Okay. And here you are, you're looking to license your invention so you can earn royalties from it, you and your husband. And what would that do for you and your husband to see your invention idea out there in the market?
It would be such a thrill, I think. First, the main factor is helping people, because that way we know that our intention in the first place to get something out there, to think outside the box, to have people, um, how do I explain this? Fulfilled with what their original problem was. Their original problem was, oh, do I really need something like this, and get out and, but as a solution, a convenient solution to their problem. So that would be the first relief. And the second, of course, monetary. That would, who doesn't, want. And the third one would be actually to show all my colleagues and friends that it's possible, and in our family, everybody knows about this idea that we had. Everybody's supporting it, but at this point, it's not going up as we expected. But hopefully, it will be amazing soon to come.
Good. Well, you did a good amount of the work. You have the patent, you have 2 patents issued, you have a prototype, you have a video, you have your smile, and you're ready to go and to make a deal. And now it's just a matter of finding either a disposable toothbrush company to add this to their product line. Maybe it's even a disposable razor company that can put razor blades in the handle of a razor blade. So
Yeah.
there's some future opportunities, hopefully, that'll come your way, and we wish you all the best. Alevtina,
Yeah.
you have been an inventor for a while now and been
Hmm.
working on this. There are people that just came up with an idea. They're on their journey of invention, and
Right.
it sounds like to me you're having a great time doing this. At the same time, it's challenging. What kind of words of wisdom can you give to the inventors or the future inventors out there, or somebody that just comes up with an idea? Give us some
Right.
words of wisdom from you.
So I appreciate that question. There's many stages of a person's journey in this invention world, and there's so many different companies and back end stories. So I feel the words of wisdom that I can impart are, the main thing of don't give up, the main thing of just go after it, continue the process, don't leave it off, and forget about it, because you never know what can actually come to fruition, and only time will tell. That's really the answer to this, because with time you can see what will happen. People have an overnight success, but in reality, look back and see that they went through many steps. So I feel just don't give up.
And what about for your husband? What does he think about where you are right now, and what does the journey look like?
He's very excited about everything that we can promote. He's 100% supportive, um, and in terms of his intention to license it, that is his main goal as well. So we definitely are on
Okay.
the same page. Hmm.
Well, we're all cheering for you and we wish you all the best. How can we get in touch with you? Give us the website one more time.
Sure. The website is, it's actually funny. We, just in case, created 3 URL names. It's by BrushRefresher.com, BUY, and then there's the BrushRefresher.com, and the other one is just BrushRefresher.com. They all lead to that same page. And my I think, I getting in touch with me via email or cell phone is perfectly fine. My email is amdrtina9@gmail, and my cell number is 718-744-4811. And I'm definitely looking forward to
Great.
anyone to connect with.
Thank you very much. Dr. Alevtina Malakova and her husband, the co-founders of Brush Refresher. We wish you all the best and we will keep in touch. Thank you very much for joining us on Got Invention Show.
Thank, thank you for having me, Brian.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you. And if you'd like to be a guest on Got Invention Show, you can go to gotinventionshow.com and you can be a guest and talk to us about your big idea. Thank you very much. And until then, keep making your ideas come true. Keep working on them, bring them to life, and have other people use them for the same reason you came up with it. Thank you, and we'll see you again soon.